Given that the Prinzessin der Ertelang is now having her raid up on the current 4.1 limited banners, and you probably have gotten her, how good is she? Let me tell you, she's definitely very good and worthy of a namesake, despite being released since Genshin came out 3 years ago. But why is that? Let me share more and also help you to build her so that you can add her into your team. Before I continue, I hope that you consider clicking the subscribe button and subscribing to my channel. It will only take a few seconds of your time and will help me to get to my goal of 4,000 subscribers. Thank you so much in advance. Let me first share about Fischl's kit. Fischl's normal attack and charge attack is like every other bow user. Normal attacks deal physical damage, while charge attack deal electro damage. Her main strength lies with her elemental skill, which summons Oz to deal electro AoE damage. Oz will then stay on the field for 10 seconds, applying electro to single targets. Pressing the skill again within 10 seconds will allow Fischl to summon Oz closer to her. This skill has a 25-second cooldown. Her elemental burst basically turns Fischl into Oz, allowing her to deal electro damage to whoever she hits. After a few seconds, Oz will be left on the field for an additional 10 seconds. This is the way for Fischl to literally bypass the 25-second cooldown of her skill to summon Oz again. What's more, the burst is independent of her skill's cooldown, which means that at C0, you can have Oz at 20-second uptime out of the 25-second cooldown. Her Ascension talent, or rather the one that matters anyway, is her second talent, which allows Oz to deal additional electro damage based on 80% of Fischl's attack when an electro-related reaction is triggered. As for constellations, her main significant ones are at C2, C4 and C6. At C2, summoning Oz will deal more electro damage at a larger AoE. At C4, using her burst will deal more damage and also heal Fischl by a bit. Finally, her C6 is the game changer, allowing Oz to fire a coordinated electro attack at the enemy whenever a normal attack is used. This will greatly increase the accuracy and frequency of electro application. Thanks to Fischl's kit, it unlocks multiple playstyles for her. The first and most common playstyle is as an off-field electro applicator. You'll use Fischl's skill to summon Oz for electro application, while other characters deal the damage. She can be paired with other Dendro characters such as Nahida to trigger spread and aggravate reactions. With her Ascension talent, Fischl deals additional electro damage when the reactions are triggered, triggering more reactions and also dealing more damage. For such a team, I recommend pairing her with Nahida for Dendro application, Yae for strong and off-field electro application, and Fischl herself to give more electro application with Oz and her Ascension talent. For the final slot, you can go with another Dendro character like Alhaitham to drive the reaction, or healers and shielders such as Layla, Zhongli or Baizu. Her second playstyle is unlocked when you get a C6. As mentioned earlier, her C6 allows Oz to fire a coordinated electro attack when normal attacks are used. While previously there may not be enough electro application, the C6 now makes her perfect for pairing with normal attack users such as Alhaitham, Yoimiya and Ayato to trigger various reactions. I personally like to pair her with Yoimiya, as they work hand in hand to trigger overloaded reactions and deal more damage. If you're worried about smaller enemies getting blasted away, it still works as Yoimiya is a bow user and can still hit enemies at a distance. For team comms, if you're using her with Alhaitham, the previous recommendation of Nahida and Yae will work well. If you're going with Yoimiya or Ayato, it's fun to use Yunjing with them to increase the normal attack damage or normal attack speed if you have a C6, and either pair them with a shielder like Layla or Zhongli, or give them a healer or damage buffer like Bennett. For both of these playstyles, I recommend to go with the Stringless to boost the elemental mastery and elemental skill damage, and either the 2-piece Gladiator and 2-piece Thundering Fury, or the new Golden Troop set to boost their damage. Finally, which I think is the most underrated, is Physical Fischl. Fischl is one of the faster normal attacking characters, and being of the electro element allows her to apply Electro to enemies with Oz, while another teammate applies Cryo to trigger Superconduct for Fischl to deal stronger physical damage with her normal attacks. How I'm using physical Fischl is as follows. Nahida C2 will reduce the defense of enemies by 30% when Quicken, Aggravate or Spread is triggered. C6 Yunjing will increase the normal attack damage and Fischl's normal attack speed with a burst, while Mika will use his skill to further increase Fischl's normal attack speed and also apply Cryo for Superconduct. At C6, he also increases Fischl's physical crit damage. Finally, Fischl can use her skill and unleash her insane normal attacks after that. If you don't have C2 Nahida, you can always opt for an alternate team with Lisa or Zhongli instead. Lisa can provide a 15% defense down to the enemy when she uses her burst, and she can also be equipped with the Trilling Tails of Dragon Slayers to increase Fischl's damage. Zhongli on the other hand can provide a shield and also the Geo Resonance if paired with Yunjing, and also reduce the enemy's physical resistance by 20%. For this physical build, I'm using the Thundering Pulse on her, although you can also opt to use the Rust too. For artifacts, I'm using the 4-piece Pale Flame set with Physical Damage Goblet. So, what makes Fischl so good? She's really amazing due to her kit. She's one of the more flexible characters in the game, which lends her to many of the aforementioned playstyles and allow you to fit her in multiple teams. The introduction of the Dendro element only made her even better. Moreover, the fact that her elemental skill can apply Electro off-field makes her so versatile to be put on multiple teams to help them be the Electro applicator. Do note that of course, Fischl isn't perfect. At C0, Oz isn't that great, considering Oz is the only single target and will target the closest enemy to it, which may sometimes deny you of Electro application on the right enemy. Secondly, as Oz fires a projectile, it can also sometimes be obstructed by either enemies or structures such as Zhongli's Geo Pillar. Finally, Fischl also has a rather long cooldown on Oz, which needs to be managed by an elemental burst. If she doesn't have a burst up, or if you fail to manage it properly, you'll be stuck without Electro damage for almost 15 seconds, which will greatly affect your rotations. Either way, Fischl is still an amazing Electro support and physical damage dealer, with some slight drawbacks that need to be managed to get her full potential. If you found today's video helpful, or you just enjoyed it in general, do consider leaving a like, comment and subscribing, as it will really help out this small channel to reach the goal of 10,000 subscribers. Thank you so much! If you'd like to see how you can create a team to 36-star the Abyss, please click the video on the right. If you would like to see my other Genshin Impact videos, please click the playlist on the left. Once again, thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye bye!